People swear by daily apple cider vinegar shots, but would you try it? Today I'm breaking down whether it is worth it or not. Apple cider vinegar has become the go-to wellness hack. People swear it fixes blood sugar, melts fat, lowers cholesterol, detoxes your body. It's cheap, it's natural, so it must work, right? Here's the reality. There is one specific claim where the research really holds up, and several others that completely fall apart. I'm going to walk you through exactly which is which, because as a dietitian who works with real people daily, I have seen too many people pour money into things that sound good but do absolutely nothing. And stay with me till the end, because I'm also going to share the one way that I actually use apple cider vinegar that has nothing to do with wellness trends, and it might completely change how you think about this. Hey there, I'm Amy Lawson, a registered dietitian nutritionist, and here on my channel, Thrive Nutrition RDN, my job is to cut through the noise and show you exactly what moves the needle on your health. I am all about real food, real facts, and real balance, so let's break down apple cider vinegar. Okay, we're starting with a little history here because vinegar has been used for thousands of years as a preservative, as a cleaning agent. Hippocrates used it as an antiseptic for wounds. Cleopatra even dissolved her precious pearls in vinegar and then offered it as a love potion to Mark Antony. People have always believed it had special powers. But now here's what apple cider vinegar actually is. Apple juice that's been fermented twice. First into alcohol, then into acetic acid. And that acetic acid is the main active compound that shows up in all the research. And here's the kicker. Apple cider vinegar contains about 5 to 6% acetic acid, and white distilled vinegar, the stuff that you use to clean your floors, contains 5 to 10% acetic acid. They're basically the same active ingredient, and cleaning or white vinegar has more of it. Now, people will talk about the mother floating around bottles of unfiltered apple cider vinegar. The mother is a combination of yeast and bacteria that's formed during that fermentation. And if you look at a bottle of apple cider vinegar, you can see the strands of it floating around. Now, it's totally harmless, but there's currently no strong evidence that it adds extra health benefits beyond what filtered vinegar provides. Unfiltered apple cider vinegar may contain some live bacteria from that fermentation process, but it isn't considered a reliable probiotic food. Now, it does have B vitamins and antioxidants from the apples, but in really small amounts. So the real question is, does acetic acid actually do anything meaningful for your body? Let's look at what the research shows. Here's where I might surprise you. Apple cider vinegar actually has some legitimate science behind it for one specific thing, and that's blood sugar control. This is where the strongest evidence is. Now, systematic reviews and meta-analyses, including a major one from 2021, show modest improvements in fasting blood glucose and sometimes A1C levels, especially in people with type 2 diabetes or higher baseline blood sugars. The main mechanism for this seems to be delayed gastric emptying. Basically, vinegar slows down food's journey from your stomach to your small intestine and the absorption of glucose molecules. This means slower blood sugar spikes after meals. Some studies also suggest improved insulin sensitivity, although the effects are small. Here's the word that really matters: modest. These improvements are real and measurable, but they're similar to what you get from consistent fiber intake, balanced meals, exercise, and those regular eating patterns. We're talking about the same ballpark of benefit here. And keep in mind, these studies have limitations. The trials were small, short-term, and often not well blinded, and the results varied a lot between studies, which makes the findings really less certain. Now, here's what this means in practice, and this is where I see people get confused all the time. If you have type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes, adding diluted, that's key, we're gonna get to that more in a minute, but diluted apple cider vinegar before meals could possibly give you a small edge. Emphasis on small. We're not talking about replacing medication or improving your A1C overnight. It could be a supporting player, not the star, not even really a co-star. And honestly, if you're not already eating fiber-rich foods, balancing your plate with protein and healthy fats, and moving your body regularly, start there. That will do infinitely more than a few shots of vinegar could do. In healthy people, those who do not have type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, apple cider vinegar isn't really shown to lower their blood sugar much, but it might raise their good cholesterol, their HDL, a little. But if you've got those basics down and you have type 2 diabetes or prediabetes and you want to experiment, this is one area where research shows it may help. That's key, may. But it does not replace all the foundations I just talked about. And here's your quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. I appreciate each and every one of you out there for watching and subscribing. On my channel, Thrive Nutrition RDN, I am breaking down viral nutrition trends, debunking nutrition myths, and sharing nourishing recipes each week. I appreciate each and every one of you, so thank you. Now let's talk about the claim that gets the most hype and has the most disappointment: weight loss. Now, yes, some short-term studies show small reductions in body weight, BMI, and waist circumference when people take apple cider vinegar. For example, a trial showed people lost about 1 to 2 kilograms over 12 weeks by taking 1 to 2 tablespoons of vinegar daily. We are talking about 2 to 4 pounds over 3 months, and that's it. And here's the thing, the one big paper that was supposed to really prove apple cider vinegar's weight loss benefits was published in 2024 and then retracted in 2025 because of serious statistical and methodological issues. The journal basically concluded that the paper was unreliable. But here's the problem, and this is where I get really frustrated as a practitioner. There's zero evidence that apple cider vinegar burns fat, targets belly fat, boosts metabolism, or overrides your actual eating habits. If it did those things, we wouldn't still be running tiny 12-week studies trying to prove that it works. These small weight changes that show up in these small research studies could be attributed to a few things, like people becoming hyper aware of their habits when they are doing something for their health. They might eat differently because they're actually paying attention, and the effect could be so small that it's just normal fluctuation. In other words, the vinegar isn't really doing the work, your increased awareness might be. We need larger, more robust studies to truly confirm weight loss benefits with apple cider vinegar. And what can really grind my gears is wellness influencers promising that their morning shot of apple cider vinegar is going to solve all these health problems. And then people are often ignoring the things that actually create sustainable weight loss: consistent eating patterns, adequate protein, managing our stress, getting enough sleep. Those are the things that make a difference long term, that health for life, the longevity that we're all striving for. And before we go on to heart health, do me a favor and hit that like button and share this video with someone who is curious about apple cider vinegar and deserves real science-backed clarity instead of hype. For cholesterol and heart health, this is where the evidence gets even shakier. Some studies, including a 2021 meta-analysis, showed small reductions in total cholesterol and triglycerides, especially in people with diabetes or metabolic syndrome, which sounds really promising. But here's the catch. There is little consistent effect on LDL cholesterol, the kind that really clogs your arteries, or HDL cholesterol, the protective kind. And for heart health, those are really, really important. Now, small improvements in total cholesterol are great, but without meaningfully changing our LDL or bumping up our HDL, there can be limited impact on that overall cardiovascular risk health that we're really trying to improve. For actual heart disease prevention, your overall dietary pattern is everything. We're talking about more whole foods, less processed, fried crap, regular movement, stress management, quality sleep, not just some tablespoon of vinegar in water every morning. Speaking of getting the basics right, this is exactly what I help my clients focus on instead of chasing trends. If you're watching this because you're overwhelmed by the conflicting nutrition advice out there, you're struggling with blood sugar management, or you're just exhausted from trying every wellness hack that pops up on your feed, you are exactly who I built my programs for. My meal planning program gives you done-for-you meal plans specifically designed for you and your health goals. You get the meals, the shopping list, the science behind why it works, and zero guesswork. And for even more personalized support, this is where my one-on-one nutrition counseling comes in. We are going to dive into your health history. We're going to look at your labs, your lifestyle, your actually real life, and build a strategy that fits you. So scan the QR code on your screen right now or grab the link below. And here's a little something special for you. Use code YouTube10 for 10% off all my programs. Because here's what I know from years in the nutrition field. On their own, tweaks like apple cider vinegar generally move the needle much less than the core habits. Getting your foundation right, that's where the transformation happens, and that is what I'm going to help you with. Now it's time to rapid fire through the rest of the claims you see online because these really need to go away. Does apple cider vinegar detox your body? Nope, your liver and kidneys do that job 24/7 for free. Does it boost your metabolism? Nope, zero evidence of meaningful metabolic changes. Does it suppress appetite? Not in any healthy way. In one controlled study, the appetite suppression from the vinegar was largely due to people feeling nauseous, not a unique hunger-reducing effect. Does it replace medication? Absolutely not. No, never, ever. Does it improve gut health? The research really doesn't support this claim. Does it help with eczema or other skin conditions? No, and applying it topically, meaning on the top of your skin, can actually make eczema worse, it can cause more irritation, and it can actually cause some chemical burns. Does it break your fast? Technically, yes, acetic acid triggers metabolic responses, but it's kind of negligible and missing the bigger point. The bottom line is these claims are kind of marketing disguised as health advice. They sound scientific enough to be believable, but they are not backed by solid research. Now, is apple cider vinegar dangerous? Not if you use it correctly. But you need to know this. Always dilute it. Never drink it straight. The standard dose is about 15 to 30 milliliters, which is about 1 to 2 tablespoons per day, and you want to dilute it in at least 8 ounces of water. Here's the potential risks if you don't. You can have tooth enamel erosion from the acidity, and this is permanent damage. Throat irritation and burns, GI discomfort, nausea, or reflux. And there are drug interactions, especially with diabetes medications and diuretics. If you have a history of disordered eating, digestive issues like GERD or ulcers, or you're taking medications that affect potassium or your blood sugar, always talk to your doctor first. And here's the mistake I see all the time. People think if 1 tablespoon helps, 3 or 4 will help more. That's how you damage your esophagus. Don't do that. More is not better, it's riskier. So here's my actual take on apple cider vinegar, and this might surprise you. Apple cider vinegar isn't a scam, and it's also not a miracle cure. It might offer modest benefits for blood sugar control in people who are managing diabetes. For weight loss, cholesterol, detox, and metabolism, the evidence is really weak to non-existent. If you like it and you tolerate it fine, just be sure to dilute it and keep your dosage in check. And also, you're not missing out if you skip it. But here's the thing, I actually do use apple cider vinegar pretty regularly. I use it in marinades, in vinaigrettes, a splash in my Greek yogurt ranch dip, in pickled veggies. It's delicious. It adds brightness and complexity to food, and it does that without adding excess sugar or excess calories. So there absolutely is a place for apple cider vinegar in your life, just not as a health hack. Use it because it makes food taste better. Use it because it's a staple in good cooking, not because you think it's gonna fix your metabolism or melt some belly fat. And if you want actual apple cider vinegar recipes, ways to use that in real food that actually tastes good, I've got a whole bunch on my website. I'm gonna link below. The uncomfortable truth about apple cider vinegar and most wellness trends is this. They're the problem and they're not the solution. The solution is the foundations, and some may say the boring stuff, consistent meals that are built around whole foods with protein and fiber, regular movement, sleep, stress management, and showing up for yourself day after day. Apple cider vinegar isn't going to transform your health. All right, I hope this cleared up some confusion for you around apple cider vinegar and all the wellness claims out there. Now drop me a comment and tell me what's the wellness trend that you are most confused about right now. This might be my next deep dive video. And for more wellness trends to skip and the ones that are actually good for you, hop right on over to my best and worst diet trends of 2025 video. It is right here. Go and watch it next, and I will see you over there. Until then, eat well, be well, thrive.